So here we are, we've got Motorsport telling us the rules of the SAE-A competition and how the whole thing runs. So tell us how the two parts of the competition and what you have to do for them.
So the competition is divided into static and dynamic events. Static events are sort of what differentiates SAE. It tests a team's sort of project management skills as well as their engineering design skills. So we've got the business presentation event where the teams sell their car to a mock investor, similar to you would do in industry. We've also got the cost event where you cost your car through all the parts, and basically you just have to justify the cost of your car. And finally, we've got engineering design where you explain the justification behind your engineering choices and sort of show your understanding of the car. Beyond that, we've got the dynamic events, which is where the car proves itself on track. You've got acceleration, which is just a 75-meter straight line run from standstill, see how quickly you can do it. Skid pad, which is a figure eight where you do two clockwise loops, two counterclockwise loops, and you just take your fastest times. Then we've got autocross, which is just a single hot lap trying to do it as fast as you can. And then finally, the biggest event is the endurance, which is worth 325 points out of the 1,000. It's 22 kilometers with a driver change in between. And combined with that is efficiency, where it takes into account the fuel you use or the energy you use. Yep.
Awesome. And with the design of the car, what are the rules and specifications you have to build the car to?
So there's a whole rule book which we have to design the car to. It's pretty broad. Most of it just dictates safety, so it needs to withstand certain structural requirements. It also gives us guidelines for things like packaging the wings, so sizes of certain elements. It also tells us things like you've got to have a certain size restrictor for your engine depending on the fuel type you have. The whole purpose of it is just to sort of make sure that all the cars that we are designing and building are safe to run, and also making sure that all the teams sort of get a fair go. You don't just get sort of ridiculous cars happening. It's still really, really broad, and you can sort of see the variety in the cars. So we've got teams that have a single cylinder that is turbocharged like us. You have four bangers, you have electric cars, you even have teams that make their own like custom like V-twins and things like that. You see the cars with like the aero packages, ones with none, and any sort of combination. So yeah, it's just as long as you're following the sort of safety requirements of the rules, they just leave it up to you to see what you can come up with.
Okay, yeah, and the engine as well. I know most people choose motorcycle engines, and it's been a popular choice. Why do you reckon people have chosen motorcycle engines, or a lot of people have chosen the motorcycle engines to run their cars?
Motorcycle engines tend to be pretty good size for our vehicles, so most of the cars that we build are around 200 kilos. You want something that can give you a fair bit of power without like a huge amount of weight. So if you think about our cars, they're not too much heavier than like a motorcycle. They're readily available, so you can go to the wreckers and pick up like a motorbike engine if you're unable to sort of source one from a manufacturer. And they're just pretty solidly reliable as well, so that's why they're common.
Yep. And also, has there been any controversies or big rule breakers or any ambitious attempts to circumnavigate the rules in the past few years?
Not so much any sort of attempts like that. You occasionally get someone who comes up with a really innovative design that sort of people have to take a step back and be like, okay, we've got all these rules. Does this crazy design they've come up with still pass the rules? And generally, it does. It's just like you've got like thousands of students who are trying to do their best and come up with like new designs. So they've got to keep up with that with the rules.
Awesome. Okay. Monash University spokesperson speaking to us about the rules. So tell us about your journey coming to Australia and coming to Australia for the competition. How did you get here?
All right. Well, in terms of how we got here, well, of course, through playing, but of course the journey wasn't as there were a lot of hiccups along the way, but we powered through. We wanted to build our car, wanted something that was better than last year. So it was a rough journey, to be honest, but we're finally thankful that we're here to experience all this and to have a good experience so far.
Okay. Yeah. So what was your did you have any problems, or how did you go about building the car?
Sorry.
How was it like building the car and getting the car ready for the competition?
Right. Well, we set up a plan, right, and we stick to the plan.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, throughout the process, there were a couple of hiccups along the way, so we were derailed a bit. Yeah. But in the end, we managed to troubleshoot our problems and push through towards building the car. So that was it.
Yeah. So what is your car electric? Is it combustion? And what engine type is it running? What engine specs is it running?
Right. We're building an internal. building an internal combustion car.
Yeah.
Where we're using a Yamaha R6 engine.
Yeah. Okay. And how do you expect to go in this year's competition?
Well, we expected to participate in more of the dynamic events, but so far we've been having some issues.
Okay.
We're doing all we can to troubleshoot them, and right now we're just gonna go. We're hoping that we can participate in the endurance event.
Awesome. Okay. And one final thing, how the team as a whole bonded during the event? How have they bonded as a whole during the event? Have your team come together during the event?
Yes, more so during the event. I think throughout the hardships, the process of overcoming it together as a team has really built the morale and strengthened our bonds as a team. Like we do things together even more so now, and I think it's something that's really good.
Awesome. Okay. Thank. All right. So, how did you go for the journey of getting to Australia with the car and the whole team? Yeah.
We get the first experience from the FSAE ASEAN.
Yeah.
And we win the competition.
Yeah.
And from that, we got the sponsorship by the MAI to come here.
Okay. Nice. That's all right.
And that's all.
Yeah. And what specifications is your engine and the engine type you're running and the actual engine you put in there?
We just use the Kawasaki Z250.
Yep.
We don't modify it, we just use the standard one.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And how did you go about a team as designing the car and building the car? Were there any issues, were there any big points you had to consult about when building the car?
When we design a car, the main problem we face is by the steering system.
Yep.
Because before we use a helix gear for the steering. However, when we turn the steering, we get a very heavy. The driver will feel a very pain and heavy when you turn the steering. That's why we change the current steering system.
And how do you expect to go in this year's competition?
Our objective in this competition is just to pass all the events.
Okay.
We don't and especially for the inspection.
Yeah.
Because at ASEAN we face the inspection because we have the technical issue, the inspection issue. Because in ASEAN we need to resolve the problem by 3 days.
Okay. Awesome. And how have you as a team bonded together as a whole? Have you come together as a team when doing this event? Have you got close together as a team?
Yes, we work together even at night, even as 24 hours we work together to solve this problem, to make this car.
Okay. So, how did you guys go getting to the event and designing and bringing your car to the event?
Yeah, so we had a pretty good year, a lot of designing. So our car's all new, so we're a second year team, so designed everything from scratch this year.
Yeah.
So we're a little bit late getting our car into testing, but overall we've got a solid car.
Okay, yeah. Being the newcomers, only second year, how have you guys gone entering the competition and competing, being a new team, I guess?
Yeah, it's always challenging. You don't have a lot of experience in the competition. But it's everyone has a lot of enthusiasm.
Yeah, that's all right. And what engine specification are you guys running, and what is the design and engine type of your car?
So we're running a Yamaha R6 this year. We changed from our CBR of last year, and really we look to shift the torque curve down in this year's car. So we had a problem last year.
Okay.
And that's sort of what our main design goal at the end.
Okay, that's all right. And there's a lot of teams running Yamaha that I've seen. Is the Yamaha engine a popular option because of the all power and the output that it gives compared to other engines?
From our point of view, it is a popular engine. There's lots of teams that are good with it. The main reason why we went with that engine is for its packaging. Having a stacked gearbox means it's a lot shorter. Also, its availability with parts. It's a very popular engine, so there's also aftermarket parts and a lot of support there. And also, it's a known engine to have high performance. So,
Okay.
That's why our three goals.
Yeah, and how's your what results do you expect to get this year when competing in that?
We're hoping just to sort of achieve better than we did last year. We got 14th overall, and we're sort of looking to be in the top 10 this year. We got first in acceleration yesterday, which was a huge achievement for the team. And we did really well with our autocross and really well with our endurance just before. And we've done well with skid pan.
Yeah, it seems you guys made an improvement. And how have you guys all come together as a team, especially travelling interstate to the event? Have you guys been bonded closer as a team?
Yeah, well, we're a small team to start with. We only have about 8 to 10 main people.
Oh, wow.
So we all know each other very well. But yeah, the trip's definitely been a good team bonding exercise. We're from the Gold Coast, so we drive 2 days down here, stopping at campsites and all living together. So yeah, it's a great team bonding exercise.
Okay, awesome. Now, so, hold on, okay, on there. How did you go about the process of building the car and designing the car this year?
Alright, so this year we wanted to build a really nice design that we had from 2015. So the car that was built last year was a clean sheet design, and we wanted to iterate on that design, which is something that RMIT hasn't really had a big chance to do. So this car is adding an aerodynamics package, a few engine modifications, and how we did that was we benchmarked against other competitions and other competitors and make sure that the entire facet of the car is confirmed, and we make sure that we have all things considered when we make a design decision, and then we go ahead and manufacture and build the car. So it's taken a long time, of course, so testing is a big part of what we do. Unfortunately, because of a few hold-ups we had during the year, we didn't get as much testing done as what we wanted, but next year we have a fantastic package that we're going to build upon again and make sure we do as much testing as possible. So,
okay, cool. So what configuration and engine spec and chassis type are you running in the car this year?
So the chassis is a fully stressed carbon fibre transaxle, so the rear suspension bolts onto the car, it holds the gearbox as well, so something we're really proud of. And the engine itself is a 2-cylinder Yamaha motor out of a snowmobile that has a turbocharger on it as well, so 500 cc's turbocharged, and with the restrictor that's sanctioned by the governing body, we're going to make about 60 kilowatts. So certainly enough to push the car along, and something we're really proud of. The engine makes a large amount of horsepower when it's all running correctly. At the moment, we're just making some checks to make sure that we all make it out to endurance and see how we go.
Yeah. Okay. So, you guys being Monash Motorsport team defending champions, how do you guys think you go this weekend?
We're going pretty well. We've done incredibly well in our static events with first place in business prezzo, second place in design, and a third place in cost. We've also managed to get a really good result in skid pad, coming second. A little bit disappointed with the acceleration result. Had some issues with the clutch slipping, which meant that we couldn't quite get down the times we wanted, but we're still pretty happy with the score we got. And then in terms of autocross, still have the same clutch issues, but have fixed them today for endurance, and we managed to get an awesome endurance done, so
nice.
It's really, really good.
Yeah, you guys placed first, so it was good. How do you guys, what's the design of your car this year? What engine are you using, what chassis type, and what engine powering type are you using?
So we've got a KTM 500 EXC, so it's just like a dirt bike engine. That's also turbocharged by a Garrett Turbo. We've got a steel space frame with carbon reinforced panels. We're running conventional suspension using push rods, and we've got a 4-part aero package. So
it's all good, nice. And how do you guys bond together as a team, especially when designing the car and creating the car? Do you come together pretty good?
Yeah, so as you might have noticed, we're quite a large team. We've got about 70 people, so obviously you always have some differences, but overall we've sort of worked really, really well together to build our team vision. One of the good things about having so many people is everyone's got different ideas, bring a lot more to the table, and you can sort of get the best out of your car.
Okay, nice. And also with your car and the designing, and especially being the reigning champions, is there always pressure from your uni and probably the faculty leaders on always being the best and always placing high?
Yeah, I think we're pretty lucky in that our university is fantastic. They just want to see us do well regardless of like whether we're coming first or whether we're like aren't doing so well. So an example of that is in Europe. We obviously didn't quite get the results we wanted. We came back, we were quite disappointed, and everyone in the uni was like absolutely devastated for us. They were all coming over and being like, oh, like we're watching you guys, we were like supporting you guys, and it's just fantastic to have that support from the university.
Awesome. I think that's all for the. What's your name?
Bilal.
Sorry.
Bilal.
Okay, we've got Black.
Bilal.
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 Bilal. From what university?
DSU Barak.
Okay. And okay, hold on. We'll get the camera decent angle. There we go. Okay, so how have you and the team come together? So how did you go coming to Australia for the competition?
We are in Pakistan, you know, the engineering and all these stuffs are pretty much bad.
Yeah.
And we just want to strive for engineering. We want to push the boundaries of the engineering. That's why we one guy, our team leader, he just thought of let's make this car and let that happen. And we got an opportunity to participate in this event because we were late for the other events.
Okay.
And we find pretty amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and so what's your car powered by? What engine and chassis is it?
The engine is Polaris Predator, the ADV 500.
Okay.
And it is a normal carbureted engine.
Yeah.
And chassis is designed by the mild steel pipes.
Yeah, sure. Okay. And how have you? What expectations do your team have for the result and placing standings?
Being the first year team. We have a positive expectation, but not really that big.
Okay, yeah.
But not average expectations.
Okay, that's all right. And so has your team come close together? Has your team become close?
We became a family.
That's good. Yeah, it's awesome. Introducing the University of Tasmania, and these guys are their third year in competition. And so tell us about your car.
As you say, we're fairly new to the competition. We started with a very different concept to what we run now, but this is a second year concept, second year iteration of a 3-year concept. Running a CBR 600 engine, an aero package, a differential, which is a steady improvement on last year's design. It's far more reliable this year, the tune's a lot better on the engine, and our downforce is a lot more optimised. So overall, we're happy with the result we've got today out of the effort we've put in throughout the year, and hopefully we can improve it for our third and final iteration of this concept next year.
Definitely. And so what specs is what engine type is your car running, what chassis type, and what design you got?
So the engine's a Honda CBR 600 with a 4-into-1 exhaust system. Chassis is a hybrid space frame chassis that uses 4130 body steel with aluminium honeycomb panels bonded in with carbon fibre. So it's a sort of ideal combination of the two to give us the most, manufacturable and adjustable system, with also the strength of the honeycomb added in. What else have we got? Aero package, we're running a front and rear wing, double element front, twin tier, triple element rear, and an under tray as well to match that. Something that's been improved on last year. Driveline's got a 2.35 final drive ratio with a Drexler LSD in the back to improve how we handle this year. Last year we ran a spool, which is a lock diff, and notable features. Double A arm wishbone suspension, which gives us a large range of adjustment and fine tuning as we go to the track, and 10-inch wheels instead of 13s for last year. Which is a big change.
So maybe a bit of context, we go to 2014, we had a very bare bones space frame chassis, spool for simplicity, single cylinder, GX 450, BMW GX 450, naturally aspirated. We didn't even have a plenum, so it was working for power lock. And that was good for reliability. It was very solid, very easy to get access to. That got us through all events in 2014. So we scored surprisingly well. I think it was 40th out of 2014, I think it was. Yeah.
And so, as a race driver yourself, tell us how you got into driving this car.
I'm actually surprised I ever got picked in the first place.
Funnily enough, we're like the two drivers that don't actually have previous racing experience.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
I've got a car that I enjoy playing with. I've taken it to the track once or twice, but nothing serious like some of the other guys have done in karting. I guess there was a motorsport day where we took our cars to the track. We got a little bit noticed and got offered to drive. But back then it was more based on effort anyway. So I've driven all 3 years of our experience here at Formula SAE Australasia, and we go just through that really.
So from the University of Wollongong, here's the crew. So guys, how did you come together, and how did you end up entering the SAE-A as a team?
Okay, so Wollongong Uni's been doing SAE now for 16 years, including this year. So it's a long-standing tradition at our university. This is the 6th iteration of this particular platform, and we're pretty happy with the results that we got with it.
Awesome, yeah. So since the race has just finished and the event's finished, how did you guys place for the result?
We haven't got the results yet, but we were arguably the fastest car on track.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to do well.
Nice, yeah. You guys were a very good surprise package. So what's the car design and what's the engine type and the engine that you've used in the chassis
So
design?
we've got a CBR 600, heavily modified. It's got a dry sump in it. It's got gears removed, high comp internals. What else? That's about it for the engine. We've also got polyhydromat in the fuel tank, which removes all our fuel surge.
So yeah, and so how did you guys have you guys bonded as a team very well? Matured as a team?
Well, Scotty here's my housemate, as well as 3 of the other team members, so I'd say so.
Yeah, okay, that sounds good. And
suspension, mate?
Yeah, so the car operates SLA double wishbone suspension with pull rod actuation. We've got 4 brand new Olin's TTX 25s on it, with some 52.5 newtons per millimetre springs in the front, about 62s in the rear.
Okay. Alright, so featured here we have Curtis University. So girls, tell us about your team and how it came together this year.
So we started in 2002 and we first started competing in 2003. So our 2016 car, for this year we've started doing an 18-month design cycle, so this way we have more time to design, build, test our 2016 vehicle.
Yeah.
What sort of information do you want to know?
Oh, it's basically now the specs on the car. So what are the specs of the car, the engine design, chassis design, and how did you go about building it this year?
So this is Nikki, she can talk to you more about the specs of each of the areas of the car.
Yeah, so with the specs of the car, we run a Honda CBR 600 AA engine. And we run a spray frame chassis, just chrome layer tubing. We run just a 3-piece bodywork as well and an aero package with a diffuser. And just mechanical shifter. I think they're the main specs.
Okay, awesome. And so so have you guys, are you guys competing, have you been competing long, your team?
Pardon?
Have your team been competing long in the competition?
We started competing in 2003, so
okay.
We've competed every year since then. And this year we're pretty happy with how we've gone in terms of the dynamic event. So we haven't been able to test our car until just a few days leading up to competitions. That was pretty stressful in terms of that, but really, really exciting in terms of how reliable a car was up until competition. So
that's good, yeah.
Especially the short track testing time we've had.
Yeah, okay, that sounds like you've done pretty good this year in that. Especially since you're a longer standing team, is there any other expectations placed on you as a whole group in that from the university? Like any pressure or anything to do good?
I guess we've got a lot of pressure in terms of transfer of knowledge and learning experiences, so that's the main thing our university wants to get out of it, is to make sure that the largest number of people can get a really good experience and actually learn all the practical skills and theory behind the car. In terms of placements, the better we score, essentially, the better our budget will be. So that's pretty just a big pressure for the next few years in terms of scoring really well.
Okay, nice. So there's always a bit of pressure in the background. Yeah. And how do you? Yeah. So how do you guys expect to go and place this year as a group?
Hopefully not too bad. We've tried to remain consistent. That's mainly what we wanted to do. So reliability was a big thing for us because that really plays into consistency. Static events.
We were within top 10 for static events, so we placed 6th, 7th and 8th in all of them. That's pretty decent compared to previous years, so we've been trying to get a bigger placement in terms of on the static events. In terms of dynamic events, so far we've been second, third and 6th, I think? Something like that. But when you take out only the electric vehicles, our scores bump right up, so that's pretty